I don't know about you, but I have had babies that have had colic. And you get so frustrated because you've done everything you can for this poor baby, and they're still crying and they're still upset and their tummy still hurts so bad. What do you do?
I wish I had it when my second oldest was a baby. And we've learned some other things about colic too that we'll talk to you about. This is a catnip-based tincture, and that is so soothing and calming. It also has chamomile, fennel, and basil. So all for digestion and just relaxing that gut if that's what the issue is going on with the colicky baby. Here's the thing though, tinctures are made out of vodka. You can make a glycerin-based tincture. It's just not as strong. So here's what we do. We make this out of vodka to extract the goodness from these herbs. And then at that point you can choose. If you give your baby just the alcohol-based tincture, it's 1 to 3 drops. It's so little alcohol that it's not going to make a big difference. However, we do recommend that you take the following steps and add glycerin to it. You want to simmer off some of that alcohol. So in vodka, which is 40% alcohol, 60% water, there is some volume there that you can simmer off that is alcohol. And alcohol has a pretty low evaporation point. So if you press this tincture, you put it in a pan and just put it on low, that alcohol will simmer off and you can take off about 1/3 of the volume of liquid. And you do have to keep measuring it, which is a little bit of a process. But I just have a Pyrex 8-cup measuring pitcher right there. That's what I use. So I'll simmer it for about 10 minutes and then I'll pour it in the Pyrex and I'll say, okay, how much of it is gone? And you're just looking to go down about 30%. And then if it's not quite gone, I'll pour it back in and we'll simmer it for 5 or 10 more minutes. But within 20 minutes, you should have most of that alcohol off. At that point, you'll cool it and add that much glycerin back in to replace the alcohol because we still need this to be preserved. And that glycerin will preserve it and it will also make it a little bit sweeter. When you do this, then you're gonna wanna double the dosage. So it's 2 to 6 drops, which is still just a tiny little bit for your baby. And you can use it for kids and even for upset stomachs for adults. Of course, the dosage would go way up to a normal sized dosage at that point. Although we do have gut relief and a tummy tincture for older people and their guts. This one's just really mild, very few ingredients, and really just great for babies.
Don't let the process scare you off because the results in the end are so worth it for those little ones with those tummy aches.
One thing to consider when you're dealing with a colicky baby is how stressed out are you as a mom? And if you're uptight and your diaphragm is really tight because of everything that's happening, then oftentimes that's passed on to the baby. So as a mom, just relaxing, taking some deep breaths and consciously calming down will help that colic in your baby. Seems like kind of a funny stretch, but it really works. So that's another thing you could consider with a colicky baby.